I'm just so hungry.
Oh, that's not good.
Hey, David, you gonna kick us off?
Yeah, so why don't we, let's see, I've got my little set of squares here, and actually, under the original arrangement, Maeve is up first, so I think you have some fun, exciting news.
Yeah, so, it's
Really?
not actually that fun. We've encountered a
Well, I'm sorry, I
already.
built it up.
Oh,
So we,
My threshold for exciting news is maybe different than other people's.
okay.
we are ready to push it onto the, well, basically we got our interview to the point where we were like, okay, we've tested it enough. We're really happy for it to go out into the wild. Now what?
Wow.
So we wrote to David and Quinten and we got some instructions, and I was working last night, so Lance had a look at it and he got to a certain point, but now he's hit a road bump.
Oh, I hadn't checked since there was road bump.
Yeah, so we're going to try and troubleshoot that today after Casual Friday, and if we're still stuck, then we will bother Quinten and David.
Wow, there are a lot of unread text there. Whoa, okay. I'm going to pretend I didn't see those.
Mark is unread. So yeah, so we kind of like, I think this is a good thing that we're figuring out now, is like, this is obviously something that is maybe not documented somewhere, because obviously, I don't know, we had just not gotten to this point, or somebody else had taken over at this point. So what we're trying to figure out is, okay, so what do we do? And then once we figure out what it is, then we'll write it down so that the next people can know how to do it and not struggle through the same things that we're trying to figure out. So that's where we're at.
Are you, so you've hit a road bump, but you don't know what it is, so you can't describe it?
Well,
I think you're installing on the test server, right?
I thought it was. I thought it wasn't. I thought it was on the dev server, on the production.
Well, it starts
server.
on the dev server,
Yeah.
but then we would.
Oh, you're not. It'll be the dev.
It's moving it from the dev server to the next server, which we do have some documentation on, but obviously maybe it's not complete.
Right. That's the move that we need to do. So we're just trying to figure out what's going on there. Also, Quinten said he was going to fix some stuff on our form or something like that. I don't know what he undertook to do some stuff, but it wasn't going to hold up our end. Basically, we're just going to try and figure this out together.
Yeah, it looks like it's very minor stuff. Looks like maybe it's pulling the wrong name from the YAML file or something, but otherwise it was successful.
Yeah, I need to have a look at it more.
But very close.
There was a bump. We're so, as we keep saying, it's like the last 20%. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Nothing else new to report.
All right, so clear next steps then.
So I'm taking some leave in November because you have to take leave. I don't know. So I'm gonna be on back in my full day.
So your leave is gonna be, you're gonna take leave from somewhere else to untake leave here.
I know, I'm so excited. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'll let you guys know the dates when I get them ironed out. Yo, Caroline, this video is like a cooking show.
Oh yeah, we're getting a nice. We need some narration.
Okay, so that's all from my side.
All right, cool. Hannah, you're next on my box there. Sorry, I'm just going around in a circle.
So Luke and I are still working through the name change one. I did have one question about submitting the forms to the court. Because for this one, they have to submit certified copies of their birth certificate and any prior name changes. So I was curious if anybody has thoughts on how to handle.
Well, so one thing, my recollection is that the name change form is not one of the forms that the court asked for, which means that it's not one we would send directly to them. So the modality would be you create this part and then you download it and then send the rest on under your own however. So whether or not that means getting your other things together and putting them as attachments, although if you're looking for if it has to be notarized or something, then that's maybe a different situation. Caroline, you can't put the background on yet. What if he comes? It's supposed to be a surprise.
Well, he'll be surprised when he comes on.
No, but the surprise is like, it's the whole 16 candles things. It's like, oh, we're not saying anything about your birthday, but then look, we all thought about it.
Like two Carolines as well. What's going on?
I'm trying to switch from my phone to my computer, and I didn't realize my computer had that on already. So I'll.
That's okay. I made the exact same problem when I signed on today. All right. I'm sorry, Anna. I did not mean to interrupt. Please continue.
No, that's all good. So that,
yes.
is very helpful. So then I think we'll have to change the language on the very first page that says it's going to let you email to the court, because it won't. But then
So
that will solve.
That language should be from basic questions, and there's a manual toggle that Quinten added. Or actually, maybe it's not a manual toggle on basic questions. There's a manual toggle that one has to do to switch it over, which should change the language in both places, is my recollection. Did anyone else work with the toggle? You have to change something in the code.
You have to change. Sorry, I missed it because my thing was having an issue. A toggle in the code to do what?
To go between our send to the court code and the download code.
That's
but I can check it out. I can check it out.
I think there's just something, and I think my understanding was that it also changed the language in the basic questions intro as well. So there should just be one place to
do them all.
Yeah, the two Carolines. This is interesting.
That's so weird. It's really.
What was really interesting was one of them you were really close, so we could see your finger, but the other one looked like a different you because you were doing something different. All right. This time, Michelle, now I'm sorry I interrupted. Caroline, I keep getting distracted by,
I'm sorry.
no, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm the one who keeps getting distracted.
Well, in the Zoom stuff, etiquette, you're not supposed to be doing this. So I'm sorry.
No, but we're all doing it in part of a greater purpose, which is.
Purpose.
All right. So I think the point, and I think the answer to your question was, we're not sending it directly to the court. We're downloading it. You may not have to edit as much of that language as you think you might have to, because there might be a toggle, but then you will need to provide the appropriate additional scaffolding and instructions for people as to what the other steps should be. That being said, in other interviews, when we've gotten something like that, a good way to address it is by including an instruction sheet that you download with. And so I think that might be a good approach. I don't know if that's something you've already done.
We haven't done it yet, but I figured there would have to be some kind of documentation of next steps that the user has to do. So that sounds good. Yeah,
so the idea there is not just to put it just on the screen, as you put it on the screen and then someone prints something out and they don't remember what you said. Here comes Quinten. Okay, just, Quinten, question.
Sure.
Is there a toggle for the, between the, does it actually a toggle with basic questions between send to the court and not that changes the language in the intro, or is it all manual?
It is, there's a variable we created that will change the opening screen. And then on the ending screen, the download screen, you have to manually add an if statement.
All right, so there's a variable, Anna.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm hoping we can add that into Blizzard, but it's not there yet.
So you staying for Casual Friday today, Quinten?
What's that?
I heard that you might not make it to Casual Friday. Are you staying for Casual Friday?
Yeah, no, I'll stick around.
Okay. What?
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we also have to do the toggle for our thing to turn, because ours initially had the submit to court thing, and that's something that we have to do. So if we can maybe discuss that with you guys as well.
Oh, and we will be making yours yours was asked for by the court, so in theory it should be a submit to court, but we will want to toggle it to non-submit to court while we're waiting for the court's approval.
Exactly. So we don't want the court's approval to hold us back from releasing this into the wild.
So what I guess the interesting thing there, Quinten, maybe the thing to do, what are your thoughts about this? Should we do the to-court version on the test server, which is the thing we would give to the court, and then put a download version on the production server?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you can test that the send to court part works.
Because I'm sure the send to court folks, they would want to see what it all looked like.
Yeah, let's wire it, but make it so that it isn't actually sending to the court yet. I see what you're saying. I guess we can make that its own branch. It's just one. So once you get the logic in there, you just have to change one variable. That's basically all that I streamlined, is just making it so You can set a variable to true or false before it goes to the court.
All right, cool. All right. So Anna and Luke, any other, I'm sorry I got so distracted. Any other questions or points?
I have just two small things. I was wondering how important the review part is, and like how much like, because obviously it's important that they can review their answers and go back, but like
Oh, review screens is what you're talking
yeah,
about.
the review screen of
We don't usually see those as version 1 necessities.
Okay.
So they're not usually MVP.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a
Can we
way?
put Teaching Tuesday on review screens and navigation? I mean, not maybe next Tuesday, but book that. Because after working with New Hampshire, I'm realizing it's not that straightforward, and there are multiple ways of doing it, and the pros and cons of the navigation and the mobile and stuff. I think that'd be really helpful, especially given what Jonathan has said about review screens.
Saying that like you wouldn't release it without one. Yeah. Well, I think that's just a cover for how the back button works, but
Oh, I see.
yeah. You do kind of need one or the other to work. I think that's true. If it's a long enough interview, I think your name change one is short enough that it won't be a blocker.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm just saying, given what Luke's bringing up, and we've talked about it before, and the fact that we don't have any, I mean, if you guys want to keep doing Teaching Tuesdays, because I realize you're teaching anyway, but if you wanted to keep doing Teaching Tuesdays, I think it would be great to have an in-depth review screen navigation.
Yeah.
Every which way up and down we could, but that would just be assembly line project. That wouldn't be, I don't know. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to review.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or revise. I love that.
David.
In England, they call it revising, right? Which always confused me. Anyway,
Well,
Luke, you're probably wondering how do you
Tuesday,
turn off
but
the review
it's similar.
screens? Because we have a placeholder, right? Is that what you're wondering?
Yeah, I mean, that would be
Yeah.
nice too, because whenever I change a variable or get rid of a variable, then it's like there's problems. And there's no block. Is there block commenting? Because I've just been going like hashtag,
yeah.
hashtag.
Oh, there
There is.
There is.
And we can
Michelle
show you
knows.
other tricks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Michelle nails it.
That's fantastic. 'cause
Yeah, it's
so
really,
annoying.
it's so, I know, but you just do like you do questions. You just do comment at the top, colon, type, and then put in what you want. Oh, but that doesn't take out the whole block though, does it?
So the way that I'm talking about is when you press, I think it was Alt, and you
The
drag
alt, yeah.
down, and then you just add comments
Right.
you add hashtags to the whole line in one move. But the only way
Either
to
one
do
of
it is turn the
those.
block into a comment.
So
but I was always
Alt,
nervous with that.
drag, and then you have to press something else.
The shift.
It
to
gives you a
each of
multi-line cursor.
them. Sorry.
Thank you.
So that when you hold Alt down.
Okay.
So way better explanation.
And then is it the same process to uncomment multi-line?
I mean,
Yeah.
then you draw
Well-
in the hash symbol, so you would alt drag and delete the hash
Delete.
symbol.
Okay.
You
So
can
yeah, it's
also
really
use
not
the- You can also, if you want to like comment out a whole section or whatever, use the one that Caroline talked about, because you can write comment colon and indent everything under it. You can select that whole thing and then indent it with command right bracket.
Oh,
And then you can comment out a whole section.
that
way.
would be real. That's actually, I don't know. Yeah, it's a. But then
They're for different times. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yes.
And
One is an
Luke,
actual
are you
change
using-
to the, yes.
Luke,
Syntax
are you
kit is a tool.
code as well? Are you
What's
or
that?
Adam? You using Adam or VS Code locally or
No,
only?
I'm just coding in the.
No, I was just saying
In
if
the
you're
playground.
doing that, you do
Yeah.
a control / if you're using.
Yeah.
VS.
Yeah.
I find if I have to do a lot of editing, I do VS Code because
too.
I love the split screen,
Yeah.
where you can compare them.
Yeah,
Adam
it's
can
just
do a lot of
one
that
line,
too. All right. So not to devolve into tool wars. No one's gonna. No. Oh well. Text editors. Loads of fun here. Okay.
Without him.
Yeah. I was resisting. Okay. I'm now just having flashbacks of trying to exit them.
One side of your brain is bad battling the other side of your
I'm
brain.
having a
over
really
here.
hard day today. I'm very easily distractible.
I'm having a really hard day.
Um,
I'm having a really hard day.
okay. And everyone's
The
moved
hard day
around, so I'm trying to keep track. We went through Maeve, we did Anna and Luke. Caroline, you're next on my little squares.
I haven't checked GitHub to see where we are with the 209A. So that's Kate and Quinten, and then you ultimately, David.
I merged it. I think it works as is. So I don't know if Kate had any more suggestions.
Yeah,
I think this is a good incremental release. It didn't break anything.
No, I don't think it should break anything. I'm just thinking we want Kate just to have, she looked at the little mini one, but I want her to look at this big one to see if that works. And then once that's good, then David, you probably ought to look at it to see if it satisfies.
Yeah, well, I'll need to look at it at least to figure out how to frame the presentation to the court when we say, hey, look, we've done some stuff.
Sure. And Quinten, did you go to the SRLN webinar thing yesterday?
No, I missed it.
No, okay, so they were. It was interesting. I had to go to the dentist, but I got there for the second half. I got to the very tail end, I think, where Ayuda Legal, Puerto Rico. So they're doing forms. They're doing A to J author, and the guy there. I just heard the tail end. They must have done a similar restraining order there, and he was talking about the resistance that they were getting from their courts on a very similar kind of strategy, and that they resolved it, but I haven't had a chance to go back and look. And then I raised my hand, but I didn't, I just came in on the tail end. So I think, when I first did this, there were only 5 states that did restraining orders, and I was picking the best pieces from all of them. So for example, Georgia at the time had checkboxes. There wasn't an affidavit at all. Georgia, you just do checkboxes and then you got your answer. Your complaint. So I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted to throw that out there. I've been working, and Quinten did a motion to dismiss on this new CDC moratorium, with the CDC declaration thing. And so I've been working with Mariah a little bit to put some context on mass legal help, and then they're doing a training for housing attorneys. Well, they did it. Ann Jochnick, is that how you say her name? Jochnick. Jochnick. Yeah. She did a training for attorneys on Tuesday. So we've been tweaking the mass legal help page quite a bit, but then that also, carries on to this motion to dismiss and the declaration. And Paul Shack, who is like he's a really with it techie lawyer in central Massachusetts, and he always makes very astute comments and criticisms. And so he was saying that the CDC declaration that we're using, that Quinten put into his, that's the national, CDC approved one, actually informs landlords that they might be able to evict tenants for another reason. So he was suggesting that maybe we not use the CDC approved declaration, and he's got another declaration that I just posted to Mass Legal Help. So I wanted to put that out there. And then I added a couple of screens for the new motion to dismiss that Quinten just did, so that people are actually answering a question that they swear to in their statement. That they claim in their motion.
Like a checkbox.
Pardon?
Is it a checkbox or something? How do you do that?
Actually, well, so what you say in the motion, you say my landlord is not evicting me for any of these 5 things. But we didn't ask them that in the interview. So we have them saying it in the motion, but we haven't asked them that. So, and the thing is, we want to ask them in a way very carefully, because we don't want to say my landlord is only evicting me for non-payment of rent. And there's a whole legal issue going on in Massachusetts about being able to use this for other purposes. So I tried that out, but I need you guys, either Quinten or Mariah, to check it out and make sure that's right. And I have, at the minute, if you are getting if your landlord is bringing a case for eviction for some other for one of these 5 reasons that's not covered by the moratorium, I just sent them to, I'm sending people to the motion to dismiss form, but I just need to make sure that that's right. And the other thing I did on a different branch but didn't do a PR for was when you're asking the user, why the landlord is evicting you, they have to look at their summons and complaint, because they may not know, you know, they just get this thing knowing that they're evicted. So I took out a little piece of the summons and complaint. It's a new summons and complaint that's not great. But they look at it, and so I circled this bit. So this is where you're going to look to find out what why your landlord is evicting you. But I think the image looks terrible that I put in there. So if anybody's got any ideas about how to, maybe I should just put the language in, say, look for this language on the page 1. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm using the court's sample summons and complaint. So you've got this big sample and then you don't see, I don't know, but I did it
What
quickly.
looks bad about the image? What looks bad about it?
Well, because the image is words. So,
does it just need a border maybe? Does it like blend into the background too much? Would a border help?
It just looks, I think we need a better image. Yeah.
Or if you circle the words.
I did. I circled it. You can have a look at it.
Yeah,
Michelle, and look. Just if you look at the screen, that's what I'm saying. You might see, and it's a branch. I don't know what the branch is. I don't know what.
One substantive challenge there is that it won't necessarily be on the summons and complaint. Summons complaint could just say, for the reason stated in the notice to quit, or failure to vacate after notice to quit.
Okay.
So the notice to quit is the #1 place to look.
So how do you, okay, so we should, and the notices to quit, they're not the same, right? They're not.
Yeah, there's no standard there at all.
So we just, okay, so I can take, that's good. I can get rid of that ugly image. But, so we need to ask the question differently.
I think, asking them to just say what the reason is that they're being evicted might be okay, because I do worry about people getting a little panicked if they can't find their notice to quit, which maybe was sent to them 7 months ago, right?
Well, they don't, I mean, we could say, because the
we
thing
want
is,
to steer people to filing this and then let the judge sort it out in some ways.
I think that what you want them to say is,
good faith
my
reason.
landlord is not evicting me for any of these reasons, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that could, you guys, I wouldn't mind if you guys would look at that. It's a very, very short interview because I did it. I was pretty tired when I did it. So if you guys can just look at it and see if because it's one of those, my landlord is not evicting me for any of these reasons, or my landlord is in it, or actually my landlord is evicting me. Check all the reasons that your landlord might be evicting you. None of the above. And if it's none of the above, you can keep going, which is kind of counterintuitive.
Right.
Will you drop the link for us, Caroline?
Pardon me?
Will you drop the link for us, please?
Yeah.
And being mindful of people's time and
I'll
Casual Friday. Are there any other
priorities?
Well, Casual Friday is the most important, right? So,
sorry.
No. I've taken us off track. You at least start talking about things that are relevant. Is there anything else you'd like to add after folks look at that? Other than
and just the other thing is Michelle did oh God, Michelle, what was it? The thing with Corey that you did for stealing juvenile records with Pauline at GBLS. And ages ago, I had done one asking DeCegis for your juvenile record, and I'm realizing I never published it. So I'm going to try and finish that so we can so they can work together.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's me.
Cool. And I have Lily.
Hi. I just have a quick question. Well, one of the interviews that I'm working on is about to go live, so I just want to know the standard procedure. We're going to put the interview on the Massive Service live server. Do I just install the package and not pull the code to the server? Or what is the standard procedure?
You mean install from the package menu versus pulling it into a playground?
Right,
'Cause you're
yeah,
not
like
using
go to
yeah.
package management screen, just install it.
Exactly, yeah. I wrote out some steps, and we could flesh it in more because it's not specific to the assembly line. But I just shared those with Lance and Maeve last night. And I'll put it on the channel again.
Thank you.
Great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
let me know what other steps should be added to it, and we can make it a checklist too on Trello, probably.
Love me a checklist.
Those seem to be helping.
Perfect. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Cool. Michelle.
I made some progress with the testing. The automation for the generating of the files should be done. I got very little done, but in general that, and I'm working on fleshing out the tests more. And other than that, just trying to work on life and the world and everything.
Understandable. There's a lot of life in the world.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm not particularly blocked by anything. I mean, I need some reviews on the testing stuff, but
And we had said we would try to find folks who were at a good spot to do reviews.
Or who would be soon.
Right, yeah.
And
I think we do have some who are soon.
This isn't I'm talking about PR reviews, which I have to get from.
But I meant we would get some people who, you wanted some folks who would be willing to test out the testing.
Yeah.
To see if it made sense to someone.
Yeah.
Another set of eyes. I think, yeah, missed my opportunity to assign them to that this week because it's fast already. But next week.
Next week. Should I ping you about that?
Yeah, ping me about that. I think that we'll probably have folks from our Wednesday cohort do that. So ping me before Wednesday next week.
Before Wednesday.
All right. Anything else? All right. No, I'm guessing that's no, Michelle?
Yeah, that's a no.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I thought maybe you were asking other.
No.
I'm not looking at the video, so I was
yes.
like.
No, that's fine. Then Quinten's the last one I got on my screen before we can move into Casual Friday.
I think Caroline covered it. So yeah, I'd love to put that motion up this week if we can. I did share it with the Housing Coalition list with the current draft. I think, Caroline, your point is really important about, before releasing it to pro se people, we should have that some way for them to affirm the thing that's in the thing that they're signing under pains of penalties of perjury. So I'm tempted to just say, take your PR that's up there now and push that as is, and we'll keep refining it. Because it's only going to be relevant for 2 months and a week.
Do you still need help testing the motion for dismiss? I think I missed that. But
there's not. It's really a linear motion. So there's not a lot of and it's a docx, so there's not really the filling issues we have with the PDF.
I wanted
we
to
can still
ask
test it,
something.
though.
Yeah. When you preview a docx, do you have to does it open as docx?
We can make it be a PDF. That's probably another good fix to do.
Yeah, because if
it is confusing to pop it open and
I think it's a blocker for users to have to download a preview, and really confusing.
Well, also we had talked about before the danger of having the preview be editable.
Yeah.
And confusion for the user as to whether or not they made changes there, if it would then show up in their final.
Yeah. Okay.
That's true too. Yeah. That's an easy change. You just put PDF concatenate around whatever variable is being used in the preview screen.
Okay. All right.
I was thinking.
I think I just posted to Slack that the URL under the branch. I thought I had the image, but now I don't see the image in it. So
I was thinking, what if every time we do a, user can view the document, it's we use a version of the PDF that is non-editable, and when they download it, they can download an editable version if they want.
That's the
way we have it. I thought for
some
when
of
I
them,
clicked on one of those files, it was editable.
Well,
Maybe
it depends. It depends
ago.
on the interview, but I know for the 209A, we talked about this for a long time. because we
I think
want
it's a
to.
decision we made, but because it's manual, I don't think we've been consistent about doing it that way. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
And also,
So we
were thinking
agree.
if
We
you-
should.
I think the other part of that, we were thinking if you're sending it to the court from the interview, you don't want it to be editable
Right.
because that you're
Then
changing
you
what
get
you've got
confused.
already
But yeah, it
filed.
was when people could download. Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds like a good meta issue for us to go through all the interviews and fix, but it's manual. There's no, until we come up with this modular way to handle documents, then we can automate a little bit more of it in one central place.
All right. All right. Then I guess we can stop recording and we can move over to Casual Friday. Everyone ready for Casual Friday? All right.
Ready.
Gonna stop recording there, Maeve?
Yeah, wait. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm panicking.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Quinten.
Quinten.
Happy birthday
Happy
to you.
birthday to you.
You can't,
And many more.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'll stop
I love
recording.
it.
Did I stop recording?
You can't